we're back with another episode of Living in Granbury and Beyond. Today, we're continuing our look at retiring and moving to Granbury in 2024. Lots of changes have happened here in the Granbury market over the last 5 years, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of changes coming in the next 5 years. So we wanted to go over with you an updated version of this retiring in Granbury, and we can see if it really makes sense for you to move here to Granbury, Texas. If this is your first time to the channel, we really appreciate you tuning in to today's episode. Be sure to click that subscribe button and press the bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know about any changes here in the Granbury market. As always, we get calls, texts, and emails from people that are driving in. Maybe they're visiting Granbury. Maybe they're looking for some ideas of things to do while they get to know the area. Maybe they're thinking about retiring here 6 months, next year, or even further out than that. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'd love the chance to connect with you and give you any advice or help that we can. So 2024, moving to Granbury. What are the pros and cons? Why should you do it? Why should you not do it? That's going to be what we're jumping into today's video. So we're going to kick things off. I am going to do a map view, and we're going to be really focusing on Granbury from a Google Maps standpoint. We've already done a pros and cons video out at the Granbury Square, and we gave you a lot of high-level looks at Granbury and some things to take note of. Today it's going to be more of a map view, and we're going to be looking at some of the things and breaking down from a map standpoint things you can expect in the Granbury market. What is the number one con for moving to Granbury? I would say it's traffic. The traffic is probably the main complaint we have here. And the traffic goes from right here to about, I'd say probably about right here. Okay. The pain point is really from about right here to here. And then there's an overpass that you're going to go up and go around on here. And this little bottleneck right here is the bad boy. You'll see some major backups. So sometimes this red light, there's a red light like right here, and it'll back up, a long way. So that's going to be one of the major pain points if you're trying to get from, this side over here, coming down 144 and taking a right. It can be nasty trying to, get on the 377. Actually, my pastor, he drives here from coming down 377. And on the way to church, when he gets to about right here, there's a hill you come over and you see these red lights coming down this right here, and he has to come up and take this little overpass. And he said it really, every time he sees it, it's like a punch to the gut because he knows he's going to be waiting in traffic for a while. There is some news coming on the horizon. So I believe in 2027, they're expected to go and do an expansion. So they're going to make this a 6-lane highway here instead of a 4-lane. That will help open up a lot. And they're also going to do some work here to the overpass. They're going to do a workaround where they're going to make that a little bit wider. More traffic will be able to funnel in and out, which should cause us to stop backing up so much at these red lights and stop getting so smashed together. So if we open this thing up to a 6-lane, the city of Granbury is going to be funneling and functioning much more efficiently. It'll help tremendously. Will it be fun while they're doing that road expansion? It absolutely will not be fun. It is not going to be a fun experience having to travel in and out and through there. But for the next 10, 15 years, we're really going to enjoy the benefits of that for sure. So when is that supposed to happen? 2027 is what I hear. I was meeting with the sheriff, and he said that 2027 was when they were expecting that. Is that going to be what happens? Can it change? Yeah. So it's a couple years out. So just to say that at least it's a couple years out before they're going to get started on that road expansion. I believe they've already gotten the right of way from all of the businesses. So it's all done. Now it's just a matter of planning and getting everything set and started. But they've got the easements and right of way established already to get that started with the 6-lane. So another thing with the traffic that has been a complaint in Granbury has been the overpass. If you go down into the city of Crescent, remember that I told you they were building an overpass? So this overpass is right here. It is now showing on Google Maps. So that overpass was not there. It is now there. So when you're traveling from Fort Worth to Granbury, you can take a nice overpass and you don't have to worry about this docking station that is right here. Well, the overpass coming from Granbury to Fort Worth is also going to be finished within a few months. So once that's done, this little area of the traffic is going to be fixed. So this has been fantastic. So, some traffic that's been here before, if you're traveling to, back and forth from the Metroplex, this has been really a serious pain point. Now it's basically taken care of, which is great news. So traffic, it's still going to be bad. It's going to be bad for the next couple of years. Once they expand 377, that's going to improve it tremendously. But Granbury is aware of the traffic issue, and they're working to try to remedy it as best they can. So I think they're working on it, and I'm hopeful that it will improve. Another thing is, you hear me talk in Granbury. So one of the pros about Granbury is going to be the property taxes. We have lower property taxes than a lot of the cities that are around. Looking at Tarrant County and Dallas County and some of these other surrounding counties, even Parker County, Hood County has some of the lower property taxes. So if we go in and do a quick search, if you see all of these red lines, that's going to be stuff that's inside of the city limits. So you hear me talk about the fact that Granbury has a low population, like 12,000 or something like that. It's really low. But Hood County has 60,000. And it's because when you look at most of the cities, just think about this. Think about how many people are in De Cordova, how many people are in Pecan Plantation, and it's considered Granbury. But you have these large neighborhoods, Canyon Creek, Indian Harbor, thousands of homes out here, and homes that are all over the city of Granbury that are located in neighborhoods that are outside of the city limits and have a huge population of people. So with all of that, most of the people that live in Granbury live outside of the city limits. So it's one of the weird things, and I mentioned it in my last video, that the people that were in charge of evaluating whether there's going to be a Target, whether there's going to be a mall or a HEB or whatever, they evaluate it, and Granbury doesn't have enough people inside of the city limits. So it's not what you would find in a typical city of this size. It's actually a city with 60,000 people, but inside the city is only 12,000. And with that, it comes with some quirky realities that some of these companies like Target, they don't compute in their algorithms of whether they're going to put a Target in this area or not. A Target would do really good here in Granbury, but they don't know that. And honestly, there's so many other places that will do just as good that there's no real reason to put one here over those areas. So I understand their way of thinking, but it would do well. They just don't see that. HEB, like I said, one of the guys that was in management decided that they were going to put one here, and people drive 20, 30 miles from all around to go to it. So it's been a very successful business. And again, look at this map compared to the city of Granbury in general. This is where the pain point is. Now, this is also going to be the reason why the EMT is a volunteer, is because the city is not large enough to sustain it. We would have to get all of those homes inside the city in order for there to be a fire department that would operate like a normal city would. And so far, people haven't really wanted that. They don't want to get higher property taxes. They'd rather do it in the way that we're doing it now. And honestly, we have people that are coming from all over to train. There was a guy, we were at the EMT station 2 weeks ago, and there was a guy that was driving 2.5 hours to be at this EMT place so that he could train. The level of expertise that's here, despite the fact that it doesn't get this sort of notoriety, is actually quite good, especially since it's a volunteer fire department. So with that, we're also going to take a look at kind of an idea. I had an idea. So in Granbury, a lot of people either want to live inside the city and they want access to all the things, or they want to live outside the city with low property taxes and they're looking for a house with a shop on an acre or something like that. Okay, so what I thought was, I'll tell you what, let's just do this. Let's go pull up Granbury. Let's search for 0.8 to 2 acres. Let's do a price point of 500 to $1 million. And let's do something that's not new. So let's go 2021 and older. Okay, so that gives you 24 homes. All right. So I'm not going to go through and spend a ton of time looking at these, but what I want to do is pull up a map and let's just see where they are spread out. Okay, so you're outside of the city and you're wanting a house on an acre with a shop. So I haven't done a shop yet. That's a little more tricky to find. I've got some ways to do it. But I want to show you that a lot of these are going to be pecan. If you go out here, the areas that I would be looking are right here. This would be the homes I'd be interested in. If I was looking for a home with a shop on an acre, I would be looking at something like this. I don't know if this home has a shop, but this would be an area that I would like to look at. I would be interested in looking at properties in the Bentwater, Mallard Point states, because you have, at 1 acre properties, the HOA is pretty lax. You can have a shop put in pretty easily, and it's just not as strict. In Pecan, it's a lot harder to get the shop that you want. But what we would do is, if you wanted something like that, we would go pull up a map view of something like I just showed you, and I would whittle it down and find, the best area. So that's one of the things that when someone calls me, we know the area, we've driven the streets, and we know Granbury, and they give us kind of what they're looking for. This is kind of the ideas that we have, and this is what we want to do. We want to retire and buy a home, X, Y, and Z. We take all of that and we run it through, and we find, the best areas that we would recommend, and then we give you those and kind of show you what we have. If it's not quite the right fit, we keep getting information, and we'll critique it and continue to put some more information in and make sure we get you to the right spot. But yeah, I think this gives you a good overview. It helps you kind of see from a bird's eye map view what I'm talking about when I say, outside the city limits and all of that. So this is putting together some information for you to help you become a little bit more familiar with the city of Granbury. All right, we're going to back up a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit about where we're located in relation to the Metroplex. So we're going to be about from Fort Worth here to here is probably 30 minutes. It's really not bad. With the overpass in place, you don't have to worry about getting stopped by a train. It's pretty straight shot access. So not a bad trip at all. If you're coming from, say, where I live out in Pecan Plantation, and you're driving up, there's an extra 20 minutes, 50 minutes to Fort Worth for me because of that. So if I am looking to make a trip to Fort Worth, I just go ahead and write in an hour. It's an hour trip there. Usually I can be there a little bit quicker, but that's kind of the mindset of making it there. We had a question come in: how long does it take to get to North Fort Worth? Well, from here to North Fort Worth, if we're going up to up here, it may be an hour and 15 minutes from my house. Now I'm also back gate, so it's 7 minutes for me to get from the back gate to the front gate. To get from the front gate to 377, it's 12 minutes. So for me, it's 19 minutes to get from my house, which is on the opposite side. Now I can get to the Granbury Square quicker than someone at the front gate because I'm at the back gate, so I can just pop out and go straight down to the square, and I'm there quick. But Fort Worth I'm on the far side for that, so it adds probably another 5 or 6 minutes for me. One other thing is looking at where we're at. A lot of the development, if you look at all of the white spaces, kind of the light grays, if you see kind of how this is kind of goes around here. Inside of this is where the major developments have happened. Now you look, Dallas, it grew north, it's grown south, it's grown west, and it obviously has grown west because it grew, Fort Worth, and so Fort Worth and Dallas were kind of side by side, and Arlington kind of came up in the middle and basically connected them. So it's city all the way across. Fort Worth has developed north very fast. It is developing west toward Weatherford. If you look, the area that, if you were to look at this map, where are you going to see kind of the next explosion? Well, I surmise that it's going to be here and here. Okay, this is the area, this is the way the Metroplex is going to be developing. So with that, Granbury is here, and it is going to be directly impacted by this development, which means that over the next 20 to 30 years, this is going to be an excellent investment. As the Metroplex grows, all of these values are going to tend to go up, and this is going to become a major Metroplex in the nation. It already is, but even more so because there's so much land involved. So I am excited about that. A lot of people, want Granbury to stay the small city that it used to be 10 years ago. And that's just not the case. The proximity that it has toward, by Fort Worth and the Metroplex is going to ensure that it gets more notoriety than those folks are going to want. Even looking at the meeting with the sheriff, and we were talking and getting some figures from people that were in the know, and basically, we're looking at 100,000 people. We're at 60,000 in the county. We're looking at being at 100,000 in the next 5 to 7 years. This is actually good news because it means more businesses, more restaurants, more business owners, more investment in the community, more things to do, more entertainment, more shopping, more everything. Everything that you want to do, there's going to be more of it, and that helps with the investment. So I think in general terms, there's going to be some expectations for the city of Granbury. There's two things I want to mention before we end the video today. One is, I always like to plug businesses that I use, especially if I have a good experience. I am a business owner here in Granbury, and I know other business owners are here, and so they appreciate it. And I use a company called Brightworks Car Wash. They are not affiliated with me in any way, and I am not in any way benefiting from this. This is just an attempt to plug a business that's doing good work. So I've been going there for a little while, and if you get the pass for the month, they will wash your car and they will actually hand dry it. But me and my wife are both on there. She is part owner of the business, and she does some stuff for the company as well. So we go through, and once they wash it, they actually have someone will actually come out and hand dry your car for you. And it's not more expensive than the other ones in town. In fact, I'm saving money because it's cheaper than the other ones in town, and they do that. So it is an older place, so some of the equipment's a little older. So I think some of the new places in town might have slightly better machinery. But I feel like the hand drying the car really makes a big difference. So really appreciate that about their business. So the last thing I want to mention is Granbury is a tourist-heavy city. People come in from all over at different seasons, and like Christmas, there's a lot of people here, so it's a place where a lot of folks come in from out of town. Something like 4th of July, we have a lot of tourists that are here, and I've heard, based on some of the numbers, talking to the EMT and the fire department and the sheriff, that the population will quadruple during the 4th of July weekend. People love coming in for stuff like that. My kids, my family, love to go watch the fireworks, and so we've over time just try to find good places to go. So like if it's 4th of July, one great place you can go that's close is like the Brookshire's parking lot. It's right here by the river, and you can see the fireworks. I mean, they're right there. So cool little feature about the area. So with that, I hope this map view was not a complete waste of time. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please comment below. Let me know. Like the video. If you have any questions, please let me know. If there's things in this video that you want me to go follow up on. We've had people that have reached out and asked for some specific things. We love to do that. We love to go do some legwork. We love to hear from you. When people reach out to us, it gets us really excited. So we do appreciate you reaching out. And we enjoy working with you guys, and we enjoy you watching the content and making this content, and anything we can do to improve, we'd love to hear from you and get some feedback. If we don't, we hope to see you around Granbury sometime.